Welcome back to Weekly TNT at Teacher Tech Cafe. We're going to take a look at the basics of Google Classroom. Now, if you want to use Google Classroom, you have to have a Google Apps for Education account. This is set up by your school district. It is free, but it does need to be set up beforehand. So getting to your classroom, you can navigate to the website just by looking for Google Classroom, or you can install it from the web store and use the Google Apps Launcher. Be careful when you get on the first time, though, and choose I am a teacher. If you accidentally put in I am a student, your IT department will have to change it. So this is what it looks like from the onset. You'll get the Welcome to Classroom, and the very first time that you set it up, you will see Create Your First Class with a little plus up here, and this is what we want to click on our first setup. Here inside of Google Classroom, once you have added classes, you will see those listed here. But let's take a look at what happens when you add a class the first time. It will give me the option to join a class. I can join the classes of my coworkers if they give me the code so that I can know what's going on in those classrooms. We can work together. But I want to create a class. When I do that, I need to give the class a name, and we will call this one Classroom Tutorial. I will give you a hint. If you are like me and you want them in a specific order, go backward because the last one will appear first. I can also give it a section number. If I'm teaching the same class several times, I can give it different sections and subjects. I will hit Create. And it brings me into the class. When you create a classroom, it creates a folder for you in Google Drive. So your class is already set up. It automatically creates the folder. It's called Classroom, and each class you create will be inside of that classroom folder. So all the work is done for you. And truly, all you need to do to get started is now to share this invitation code with your students. Notice under the Students tab, also over here on the left, I have a class code. And so students will go to Google Classroom and they will select I am a student, and it will ask them to join with a class code. They type this in and they automatically become part of your Google Classroom. Now remember, this has to be in a Google Education domain. You can change the theme of each class so that students recognize it as your class if they've got several teachers using Google Classroom. So let's look at Select Theme. Notice you have a gallery of different images. I kind of like the one that's on there, but let's say that we want to change this one to we'll do science. I select that, and it automatically changes the theme of the page. Notice that you can also upload a photo for that. So let's look at our different tabs here. We have the Stream tab. That tells you everything that's going on in the classroom. Your Students tab to let you see who's in the class, and then you have an About tab where we can add more information. Here in the About tab, I can add a class description if I need to. And I'll just put Learning Google Tools here. I can add a room number if I need to. Here's the folder where all of the materials will be stored. I have calendar views. I click Save, and my About page is done. Notice I can also add class materials. Let's say there's something that I want the kids to use again and again during the class. And so I'm going to grab a poster here. Oops, can't spell or can't think while I'm talking. Power to Innovate. I want to put a poster on here that reminds kids how we go about using technology in the classroom as we learn the content. I can add a file. I can pull from the drive, YouTube, or add a link. And so I will pull from the drive, and I want this poster. I'll add it and hit post. Now the students can always get back to this because it's in the About tab. They don't have to look through the stream. They click on it and it pops up. If I need to edit something, I use the three little dots here. I can edit this or delete it, as well as the About tab. I can edit what I've got written there. So let's talk about the stream. This is where you're going to provide kids with content. Right now it's giving me a welcome message telling me what I can add, and I want to use the plus over here on the right-hand side. I can create an announcement if I want to tell the kids they have a test on Friday. If they have the app on their phones, it will pop up with the announcement. I can create an assignment, a question, where I could take a poll or have students reflect on something. And I can reuse a post if there's something we've done before. So let's create an assignment. It's going to post into my folder for the class. And this is going to be right about science. I cannot type and talk to y'all. I want to give them instructions as to what to do. And we won't type all of that in. Now I can set a due date if I want to. After the due date, kids can't turn this in, so you need to be careful about choosing that. So let's say I've chosen September 30th. Time is optional. I don't have to put a time there. I can create a topic for that. If I need the kids to work from something I've already made, I can attach a file, or I can attach a drive item that I've created. Maybe I want to have them talk about something in a Google Doc. I can assign. Now notice this drop down arrow. If I want to schedule it, I can schedule so that it doesn't come out immediately. Maybe I want to go in and put my Friday assignments for the 6 weeks in. I can schedule those. I can save it as a draft. And I will hit assign. We now see the assignment in the stream, and the students do as well. Notice we have no students enrolled, so we're not showing anyone done or not done. So I want to take a look in one of my demo classes that has a student or two. So I'll go up here to these three lines, and that takes me back to the main menu of all of my classes. And so I'll click there, and I have 8 students in Get Smart. So let's click and see what's happening in Get Smart. Let's add an assignment here. And we'll just put test. I can, if you notice this little drop down arrow right here, I can click on that. If I have multiple classrooms where I want to assign the same assignment, I can simply click those and it will put the same assignment in all 3 of those classes. So I'll hit assign. And now you see that, and we hear my phone going off. My sample students are getting notification that there is a new assignment being posted. Notice we have 0 done, and let's see who's not done. Here we have 8 students working on the project, but none of them done. Here I have a list once they have finished where I can add a grade. Let's say that I'm ready to grade Student Demo 1. I can change the point value if needed. It hasn't been returned yet. To do that, I would hit return, and it will warn me this student has not submitted this assignment. Are you sure you want to return that? And I can cancel because student 1 hasn't gotten to work on that assignment yet. Let's return to the stream because I want to show you what happens when you add something for the students to work on. So let's create another assignment, and we'll call this Writing Journal. And this time I want to attach something from my drive, and I'm going to look for the Daily Writer. Here we go. This is a Google Slides, and I have some options. Notice right now the students can only view the file. Maybe I want them to write something, and they view from here just looking at it and write on their own. I can also have students edit this file. This particular writing prompt has 30 slides, and so I could assign a different slide to each student, and they would all work on the same file simultaneously. Maybe I want each student to work on their own, and so I would select Make a Copy for each student. What happens is the students all get in their folder, they get this assignment, and right out at the end it has a dash and puts their name. And so as they submit those back into me, it will have their name attached. I assign, and it goes out to the students. Notice when we click on the assignment, and this is how the students would get there, it pulls up the slides and they could work on those. The googly goodness is awesome because Google automatically saves this for your students as they work. When they're done, they simply go back into Classroom and submit as done, and you will be able to see their copies as they work. Notice here, I can click on the students that aren't done, and it pulls up their assignment. I can click on it and watch them work. I can see what they're doing, see if they need help. I can go right in here and leave a comment for them. I can give feedback. So you're working in real time with your kids on these assignments. I know we have just covered the very basics of Google Classroom in this tutorial, and I will be making more. I know we need one on the student end so you can see how students submit their work and what it looks like from their end. So look out for more Google tutorials on Google Classroom. Thanks again for joining me at Teacher Tech Cafe. Remember, your kids have genius. Let them own it.